How's it going, guys? I hope you're all having an excellent week. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the CPI Consumer Price Index numbers that just broke. So inflation for the month of October. We'll look at the numbers, see how it's hitting our pockets, and we'll discuss how I'm managing the markets right now. We'll take a look at the FTX situation that's going on in Binance. I'll explain what exactly happened and what it means for what I think it means for cryptocurrency moving forward. So with that being said, please hit the like and subscribe, and let's jump onto the computer. All right, guys. So this morning I was watching the consumer inflation numbers for the month of October. As the information came out, it was beautiful news. There are signs that inflation is cooling in certain areas. If we go ahead and look at the current Dow futures market, it's up over 757 points. There was a huge rotation in equities and in cryptocurrency. US dollar came down and commodities across the board just started going up on that news. If we take a look at crypto, as you can see, up 9% on Ethereum and 5.4%. So excellent news coming through in the CPI numbers. Let's take a look on the website of the US Bureau of Labor Statistics as they break down. So in the month of October, the overall CPI inflation number rose by 0.4%. And if we look at the increase year over year, it's increased by 7.7% over the last 12 months. And these numbers came in better than what was expected. So looking at the individual breakdowns, there's a few certain areas where inflation is continuing to rise, but other areas where it's cooling down. So if we look at for the month of October, if we're looking at food from the prior month at home, still increasing, but there was a slightly decrease from the prior month. And then food away from home, so eating out, there was a substantial decrease from the prior month. And then if we go ahead, that's food at home. Sorry, food at home decrease, food overall decreased, and then food away from home pretty much stayed the same. If you look at energy numbers, and now energy is surprisingly where the most inflation happened in the month. If we look at September, we saw these decreases over here, but now in October, we're seeing these prices come up again. So fuel prices going up, which is continuing to cause inflation. One interesting thing that I did pick out here was that electricity did substantially decrease. And if we look over from April through the summer months, so a lot of electricity use, prices, demand was high, prices were up, and then now prices are coming down. So that is definitely helping the consumer at home. And then utilities, so natural gas, substantial decrease in natural gas, which really helped the inflation number. Continuing to go down, so looking at vehicles, we have new vehicles decrease from the prior month, but it's still an overall increase year over year. And if we look at used cars and trucks, continuing to go down. So if we look at companies like Carvana and CarMax, their stocks are getting hit because inventories are starting to go up and up because people are buying less vehicles. And so that, of course, now is causing the price to come down in used vehicles. So that's good for the consumer. And clothing as well. Cost of clothing continuing to come down, and this could also be a less demand situation here, and so therefore the prices are coming down. Medical care pretty much stayed the same for the month. If we look at shelter, so rents continue to increase. If we look at August and September, they stayed the same, and then there was a slight bump up in rents going into October, and of course there's a lot of demand there, so those numbers will continue to remain high in the foreseeable future. And then transportation, a slight decrease from the prior month, and then medical care services decrease. So overall increased by 0.4%, and then year over year 7.7%. Good numbers. The markets definitely did like these numbers. Now, how these numbers affect the Fed's decision at their next meeting. There's a lot of talk that these could lead the Fed towards only raising interest rates 0.5%, because inflation is still increasing. So, although it kind of cooled off a little bit, this may lead the Fed to toning back a little bit at the next meeting and to only raise 0.5% and not the 0.75%. So what am I doing in these markets? Well, I'm still looking at opportunities on beaten down companies and cryptos that I can put money into work. And if we take a look at companies like Amazon right here, this company is down substantially over the last year. So I've been putting some money into Amazon. It was $175 a share, and it's now at 92. So companies like this, just recently Disney took a huge hit. And if we go ahead and take a look at Disney stock, they are in the 80s right now. That's crazy, because if you look at over the last year, why is that chart not updating? There we go. So they were at $175 a share, or then I was going 175 up in the 160s a share about a year ago. So share cut in half. And so these are those opportunities that come by once every 5-10 years, because if we zoom out and if you keep investing and you look at the long term in a company like Disney, you're going to still be up in the money if you think long term in these type of companies. Okay, so I'm continuing to look for opportunities where I can on solid beaten down companies. Now, cryptocurrency, let's talk a little bit about FTX. All right, FTX, holy shit, what the hell happened with this company and their token FTT? So Sam Bankman-Fried, who's the founder of FTX, was worth $16 billion not too long ago. His company is now on the brink of bankruptcy, and he owes investors $8 billion. So $8 billion in order to maintain his company afloat. How did this guy go from being one of the most looked up to people in the crypto community to now being searched by the Department of Justice and under investigation? So let's go back to FTX. What they did is they created this token called FTT, and they lent this out to many different companies, including another company that Sam Bankman-Fried created called Alameda Research. And so he lent this out, and his biggest competitor, CZ from Binance, recognized exactly just how leveraged Sam Bankman-Fried was with his token, and he called them out on Twitter and announced that he would be selling $500 million of this FTT token. This caused the crypto community to freak out. People started selling the FTT token, and Sam Bankman-Fried did not have the US dollars backing up this FTT because it was simply just created up money. So when the bank run started happening on the exchange, there wasn't enough US dollars to cover all the sales that were coming through for FTT, which led the company to close out their sales, and people now have their money stuck in FTX. CZ from Binance then said that they may be willing to bail out FTX and buy the company out after they do their due diligence, which they did. And the next day they announced that they will not be purchasing FTX because the company is too much in the hole on leverage, and it's just a huge mess that they do not want to deal with. So lesson learned from this whole fiasco is, one, do not get into leveraging cryptocurrency, especially if you own an exchange and you create a token and start leveraging on that token. It's extremely risky, and I know greed got the better part of Sam Bankman-Fried, and this caused FTX to crumble. Now, this company was huge. So FTX, they are the sponsor of the Miami Heat NBA stadium. It is FTX Stadium. You have celebrities, NFL players that have invested millions of dollars into FTX. He had investors from all different banks and communities investing money into this company, and it was all a sham, all essentially a huge Ponzi scheme. So when this started happening and this sell-off happened, the whole entire crypto market started crashing, and we saw Bitcoin, Ethereum, all cryptocurrencies down 15, 17, 20%. Solana, which is a huge, one of the top 20 cryptos, crashed 40% overnight because FTX is a huge backer of Solana as well. So investors are scared and investors are selling. Overall, I do see this as a positive for cryptocurrency, and the reason being is that it is going to make regulation a little bit tighter. Now, I hope it's not going to be too tight of a regulation, but it is going to have companies be more transparent with their books and show exactly where they have their money, what are they leveraging, how much debt they're in, and this is going to overall make the crypto community stronger. I think this is good for companies like Binance and Coinbase, which are the two now largest players in the crypto community, and by them coming out and saying publicly, listen, we are not involved with FTX, we are transparent, this is where our money is, this is where we're investing, that is going to create more confidence in the investor as well as the regulators. So I think this is positive for crypto as a whole. Unfortunately, these bad actors will have to come out of the woodwork, and because the whole market has been going down, we're starting to see just how deep in the hole a lot of these companies are when they start asking for bailouts. So very, very interesting situation. But if we look at the overall CPI numbers, looking positive. I do see a nice turnaround in the inflation numbers. So let's hope that this is a pivotal moment for the economy where we can start seeing a turnaround. If it's not, and if things still start going down, like I said, looking for opportunities where I can buy into, because this is a generational wealth opportunity that we have been gifted, that come by once every 15, 20 years. So I would definitely do your research and find companies that you're passionate about, cryptos that you believe in and that you're passionate about, and then see where you have some extra residual income to invest with. But guys, that has been today's video. I hope you got value out of it. I appreciate your support as always. Please hit the like and subscribe. We will be dropping videos every Friday, and like today, Thursday, with CPI, this is the video for the week. So thanks for your support. Keep your head in the game, look after each other, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care. Cheers.